Good morning, everyone, and I say morning because the day is just off to a fresh start in Wurm Online. And what better time to do the third video from this series of introducing the game. So in my first video we were just sort of sailing along the shorelines of Xanadu, and you could see all the different types of deeds that people had and the landscapes. In my second video, we did a tour of my island. So yeah, this whole thing here you see, that's all mine. And in the game, you are absolutely free to make your deed as small or as large as you want. And I don't actually know what the upper limit is, but the size may be a bit too big for just one person, but it sure does give me a lot of things to do for a very long time. So I'm going to be busy with this game for a long time to come still. So in my previous video I was showing off the harbor and explaining how I need to get that all built, and since then you can see that I've laid down some planks, so made this nice little boardwalk here. And I was also wondering out loud when I was visiting the stables whether or not people sell horses in the game, and how do they actually do that. So I asked in the community assistance channel, and they were saying that yeah, you can actually do that by setting up these pens, locking the gates with some locks, and then selling the keys on your vendor. And it just made me sort of fall in love even more with this game. Like, what a brilliant concept. And it just it makes me even happier that to be like investing in a game like this, where you have such ingenious mechanisms, and maybe it was never even intentional. I don't know, maybe a player just sort of realized that, hey, what a great way to sell horses. So yeah, and I also threw down some dirt here to make myself a little dock, and so this will make it easier when my customers sail by, that they will very clearly see, because here's my my market stalls. They will very clearly see that I have some vendors set up here, and they'll be more it'll be easier for them to just sort of park their boats here and come and have a look at what I'm selling. So I sailed over to one of the starter villages to buy myself some trade merchants, or should I say personal merchants. And I've got this guy on the left here. He sells I'm just selling some random things on there. And then here is my horse merchant. So just to show what that looks like, you can right click and trade, and you will actually see that I'm selling keys here, and each key is named by the horse that is contained in the pen that the key is for. So for instance, if I were now like a customer and I would decide that Gold Duke sounds like a pretty cool name, I think I'll buy one of those. I'd buy the key. It's for 50 copper, and from what I understand, that should be a pretty fair price on Xanadu. So I would buy the key, and then I would trot over here and look for that horse that is called Gold Duke. So let's see. Windworld, Gold Duke, there it is. And I'd use the key on the lock and be able to lead this horse away and take it to my own place. So there it is. I've got my horses all set up to start selling them, and that is so cool. And I actually already made my first sale with these horses. So a guy named Vengus came by the other day, and he bought 2 of them. So thanks to you, Vengus, you were my first customer. Now then, so what's my next thing on my agenda? Well, Vengus actually asked me, am I selling any saddles or horseshoes? These are both items that you can dress your horse with. you can access the inventory of the horse and actually put saddles and bridles and so forth on them. And I'm not selling any of those right now, but I thought, that's kind of a good idea. I should sell some of those. So the next thing I did was I went to my little workshop here in the storage room, and I started making horseshoes. You can see that they're still here in the forge. Now the only problem is that I would really like to get them improved up a bit, so the quality usually starts, the quality goes from 0 to 100, just like the skills do in Wurm, and here we can see that the quality is around 16, 20, something like that, which is, it's okay, but it's not too much. So I want to improve these horseshoes a bit before putting them on the vendor. Now the only problem is that here you can see the different things that you need to be able to improve them. So, and they cycle through these different tools. So you need a hammer, you need a pelt, you need some water, and so forth, and some other things for other items. And the only problem is that I don't have any pelts right now. So you need a pelt to polish it. But I don't have any pelts right now due to the fact that pelts actually they decay quite quickly, because I mean all it is a piece of organic tissue from a dead animal, right? So it's natural that it would decay quite quickly. So what we're going to actually do is grab my rowboat and go and see if we can find a mountain lion or something like that to kill and skin. Now I'm taking my rowboat instead of one of the bigger boats due to the fact that because this one goes really, really fast and this one goes pretty fast as well, but actually I want to take my smaller and more slow boat, because if I spot something along the way, it'll just be easier to stop and park, and these big boats, they're much better for sort of long trips, whereas the rowboat is really handy for short trips, because the strength of the wind does not affect the rowboat at all. So let's just hop on to my rowboat and raise the anchor. Oh, and I should actually show you an example. When I was talking in my introduction video about how every item is a 3D object, so as you could see, I was raising the anchor just from this menu here, but actually now the anchor is in my inventory. I'm just going to hop back onto the ground here and show you. If I plonk this anchor down on the ground, it's this cool 3D anchor. So in my introduction video I was going on about how every single item in the game, well, pretty much every item is a 3D item. So that is so cool. Yeah. So let's hop back on to the boat and head out, and let's see if we can find any critters to kill and skin for some pelts. Now in my inventory I have this item called a spyglass, and it actually lets me zoom in and look, well, just like you would imagine a real spyglass. You can zoom in and see closer the stuff on the shore or from a farther distance. And I don't know exactly how I got it. It just sort of appeared in my inventory. It could be that it was a gift for playing over 1 year, not sure. Or maybe I found it when I was looting one of those decaying houses. Not sure about that, but I really, really love this item. It's really handy. So I'm just going to show, for instance, how it works. I'm just going to put a few spying charges here, just so I don't have to re-click it. And here you can actually see, this is my old neighbor. I don't know what happened to her. Just one of these days, one day she just wasn't around anymore, and you can see that her house is decayed, and there's her old stuff her old stuff is sort of laying around there, and it's decaying slowly. And this area actually, one of my friends is might be starting to play, and I was thinking that this might be a nice little place where she could set up her own home as well. We'll see, especially since there's a guard tower here, so that makes it quite handy. So yeah, so I'm using my spyglass, and I can use this to sort of spy and see. There's a cow, for instance. And now what we need to find is either, oh, there we go. There is a mountain lion. That's exactly what we needed. Good stuff. So I'm just gonna head my, oops. Gonna just turn over there and head in that direction. And it seems to be a little bit of lag because I'm just turning a little bit in a strange way. Yeah, your position on the server is now updated. Okay, there was a little bit of lag there, but it has already stopped, so. And before I actually start fighting that mountain lion, I think I'm gonna have to drink a little bit just so I don't like run out of energy when hitting it. So this will give you a chance to see what fighting is like in Wurm. It's certainly not as fabulous as in most other MMOs, but it definitely has its nice sides to it as well. So I'm just gonna disembark right here and drink some water. And the mountain lion, I don't think it has noticed me quite yet, but I should actually, before I fight it, I should just probably moor the ship. Let's just moor that so I can gain some. Oh, there we go. I got my energy back. Okay. Or actually not energy, but stamina. There we go. So I'm just going to climb up here, and if I remember correctly, I'll just double click him to target him. There we go. And if I remember correctly, if you get up onto higher ground, you will, and I should take out my target window as well. There we can see the difference. So that's my health, and that's the mountain lion's health, and it's effective to see the progress. And as you can see, right now I'm not actually wearing any armor at all. So all I have equipped right now is a sword and a shield. I don't really bother with armor in my sort of normal everyday life in Wurm because it weighs me down, and most of the time I'm not actually fighting. But I think if I would go out on a long hunting trip, then I would put my armor on for sure. But this is just there's my island over there, so all I needed was this one pelt, and now let's hope. Well, actually the first thing I should probably do is bandage myself up a bit. So you can use cotton. I'm just gonna combine these. You can use cotton to bandage yourself, and let's just see what damage I have in my body. So by clicking the different body parts, you can see all the parts that need to be fixed up. So, and I can also hold on. Oh yeah, that was if you were checking somebody else. Never mind. Yeah. Anyhow, so double click the cotton, activate it, and then I'll just start doing first aid onto these various bruises and cuts. And here you can see I'm regaining my HP. So here I bandaged myself, but I wasn't quite able to heal the whole. There we go. Pretty much all done. And now, next, you could butcher an animal with a butchering knife, but you can also actually do it by activating your sword and just using that to butcher an animal. So, let's keep our fingers crossed and hope that I get a pelt from this guy. And that it's a high quality pelt. Yay! We got a pelt, but look at the quality. It's only 3.65, so that's not very good. The quality of the pelt will, from what I understand, it will affect the speed at which I improve stuff, and also it will affect how quickly it decays. So let's just continue on our journey and see if we can find another critter to kill, because the quality, I mean, if it's 3 out of 100, that's not very good. And with this pelt, this is most likely going to decay quite quickly, so I would really like to find get a pelt that's like something like 60 or 70 or something like that. So let's continue on our little journey here and see what we can find. Maybe use the spyglass again. Oh, look at what my neighbor is building. They're building this huge bridge. Oh my goodness. Or is it actually finished? Okay, that part seems to be still under construction, but it looks like it's pretty much finished. Wow, that is huge. Maybe we should just go over there and see what that feels like to run along it. Yes, let's do that. So, recently they just introduced bridges into the game, and it might actually be a fun idea to go around sailing and check out the different bridges people have built. Man, I wonder how much wood was needed to make this. Probably a ton. Whoa, that is big. Nice little view over my island there. There's even a chair in case you get tired of climbing the bridge. Yeah, actually this is exactly the same kind of bridge that I had in my harbor, but I decided that I didn't really like the... What's going on? A little bit of a bug there, I think. But yeah, I don't really like the texture of this bridge because, and I decided to tear down my own because it's a bit too rough for my own liking. I would have actually liked that if they could have made the wooden bridge to be more matching of the wooden planks, because once I had my the wooden planks laid down to make the boardwalk, it was very mismatched with the wooden bridge, and yeah, I decided that not looking too good. Oops, I almost fell down. There could actually be some wildlife up here as well, so let's just see. Maybe we can find a mountain lion up here somewhere. I will have to be careful though, because now that I'm on land and I don't have a horse with me, if there is a troll around or something like that, I will be in trouble. But let's let's take a risk and see what's actually on the other side over here. So somebody's deed is up here, and looks like they're... Oh, is the person at home? Yes, indeed. Let's go and just greet that person. So, that guy is making his deed. Good for him. Let's see, and just keep that local open just in case he... Oh, there's a whole bunch of people actually in this area. So here in the local tab of the game you can see all the people who are in the immediate area, which is a really cool way to have it, because you get to know your neighbors, and if somebody needs help, they can just shout out into the local chat. Does anyone have like a spare, I don't know, saw or something like that? So now let's see if we can find a mountain lion somewhere. I think I will risk maybe going into the forest here for a little walk and see if we can find anything over here. Nice sunny day to go trekking into the forest. I really just hope I don't bump into any bad mobs. And looks like somebody's left some stuff here on the ground. Let's just see if there's anything useful. Well, sure. I don't mind a few herbs. Might as well take those. So, people tend to leave some stuff around in the ground. And since this is completely free land right here, I mean, anyone, you know, if you leave stuff laying around on undeeded land, which is just free land, it's free for the taking for anyone. And people do tend to leave things around once in a while for some reason. And yeah, this land you see here, for instance, when I say free, I really mean it's free. So if you wanted to set up your own little house here, you could totally do that. And as I was saying in the introduction video of Wurm, all the land is free for the taking. So imagine, you know, spending a whole day just running around in the landscape and looking for your perfect place to set up your first home. It's quite an adventure and quite enjoyable. Where is all the wildlife though? I cannot see anything. All I would need is one mountain lion. Now I have to make sure I don't run out of endurance either, because yeah, just let that charge up again, because if I were to bump into a really bad mob up here, I would need all the endurance I could get to run away from them. You can hear someone hammering off in the distance. Come on, where are all the critters? since there's so many people around in this area, let me just check. Yeah, he didn't say anything to me. But since there's so many people around in the area, and also the fact that the animals spawn, you know, if you kill an animal, it takes several days for it to respawn, I believe. So since there's so many people in the area, I would imagine they go out on hunting trips, and you know, it takes time for like new animals to be generated. There's a road down there. What is that over there? I think that's a rooster. Yeah, a little rooster. You know what's really cute in the game is that if you lead a rooster, actually I think I'm actually just gonna grab this guy in. If you lead a rooster by a rope, let's just lead this guy, any chickens in the area will actually start following the rooster. So let's just take this guy along with us and just for the heck of it see if we start running, like, will we catch any chickens on the way just because they start following the rooster. And it's also the same thing with the chicks. So if you have a hen and you're leading the hen around, any little baby chicks will also follow the hen just automatically, which is quite cute. Okay, a well. Actually, I could do with a little bit of a drink. So yeah, I'm running a little bit out of water, so let's just grab a little drink from there. There we go. And I really don't understand where all the animals are. That's so strange. Usually you would bump into quite a few animals by now, but Xanadu still being quite a new server, I do believe they still have some rebalancing to do with the animal spawns, so maybe that's a reason as well. Because like usually on other servers, by now I would have, for instance in the old place I used to live, I would have bumped into many wolves and many bad guys along this way, but that's quite strange that we haven't. Well, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna head way down back to the shoreline, and we'll have to just make do with the pelt that I found so far, and we'll go and improve those horseshoes. Oh, and something I could mention as well is, as I was saying in the introduction video, oh, look at all those cedar trees. Everything in the game is something you can interact with and you can change. So, you know, all these trees here, if I wanted to, I could totally take a hatchet and just chop all of those down, and I would have changed the landscape by making this just a grassy area and bringing the sun into it. Oh yeah, we're back where we started over here. And equally so, we can see, I think this is sand. Somebody has decided to make this kind of pit, and they've just filled it with sand for some reason. Not sure what the aim or the goal is with that, but that's also steppe turf over there. And what steppe turf. So if I just mouse over that, steppe turf is something you can also plant, and what it does actually is it spawns animals. So it could be that somebody noticed that not too many animals spawning in the area, and maybe they're building like an area with just steppe, so that we could have more animals in the area so they can come and hunt them. Not sure. I've been thinking of doing something similar myself. I'm just too curious. I just want to see. Let's have just a little look over here still before I return to my boat. And also have a little bit of a different okay, what does that sign say? Okay, no terraforming. Somebody does not want anyone to terraform. Huh. Some more herbs. I don't mind if I do. Let's see, was there another little box here? No, some grass on the ground. Oh, there we go. I thought I saw another box. Mixed grass. Sure, why not? Really? Not a single critter around. We can see the mist is coming out a bit. And actually in the game, when it gets really, really misty, when the fog is like really thick, you cannot actually even sail properly because you can't see ahead of you. Like you can't see ahead at all. Somebody's deed. Looks like they have some horses here. I have to say these iron fences though are a little bit depressing places for horses to live. Wonder if I can get through this door. I can actually. Oh, cool. That's like a guard, I think, right there in front of me. Wow. Oh, I can't. I'm just sort of being able to peek through a little bit due to... Okay. Let me just try and... So actually I cannot get through this door. It was just sort of bugging so I could sort of get a peek. But did you see those whales down there? Like, what the hell? I'm sure I saw a couple of whales sticking up in the ground. I haven't actually seen a whale in the game yet. Oh, there we go. Let's do this. Yes! There are like whales. 2 whales over there. I guess they're like whale carcasses or something. Not sure. That's strange. Again, you can hear somebody crafting over there. Oh, it's a little bridge. Is this bridge actually... looks like they're still building it. But somebody seems to be building a little bridge so you can just get over this little ditch here, which is kind of nice. Whole bunch of livestock, sheep and horses and cattle. The problem about living on an island is that since you cannot lead any other animals except horses to an island, or like in the sea when you're sailing, you have to pretty much depend. Like horses is the only thing. As far as all other animals are concerned, you have to just sort of wait and hope that some of those animals will spawn on your island. And so far I don't have any sheep yet, but I really wish I could get some. So that's somebody else's little harbor. Let's just have a quick look. Yeah, you see that mist? Oh my goodness. Or fog, rather. How could you ever sail through that? Thankfully the island is so quick, is so close by that I will most likely be able to find my way home just fine. Now I just need to find my boat. see, is there anything useful in here? Nah, not really. I can get logs anytime. Ah, here we're back at that really high bridge that we first investigated, so that's perfect. Let's go back down to the rowboat. And I'm not going to look for any more critters. Let's just quickly check that box. Pile of items over there. Anything useful? Well, always can do with some more cotton, and sure, I don't mind some string as well. Yeah. And this poor rooster, we didn't find you any hens, so I think I'm just going to let the little guy go because I cannot actually lead him. He will not follow me into the water. Well, that's shallow water, so he could follow me there, but stop leading and let him, just set him free. So we were not actually able to gather any hens on the way, but that's what happens, so it's pretty cute. Okay. And let's just turn around and head back to my island and hope that we don't get lost in the fog. Tons of people. Wow. I never knew I had this many neighbors. Oh my goodness. Look at all those names. Tons of people living in the area. Now, let's head in this direction and let's hope that I bump into my island. There's that bridge. I hope I'm not getting too lost and end up on a completely different server. So, the bridge is over there, I think. Okay, we can just see the shoreline. So, the island should be around here somewhere. But that's the thing, that in Wurm, you do not have this sort of... Like, I can look at the map, I can show what the map looks like. And the map in Wurm is not one that tracks your... So there's no marker for where I am right now. And actually, while we have the map open, I might as well show where my island is for anyone wishing to come over and purchase some horses. So, Xanadu map, and I'm on this island right here, so T12. We can just zoom in a bit. So right there. So come on over if you want some 5-speed horses. Okay, hold on. That is some lights. I think those lights are the deed of my neighbor, who has left the game, and her deed is now, or her land is now, just this abandoned area. I'm pretty sure that's her place. So if I just head to the left a little bit, I should bump into my own island soon enough. Yeah, I was just saying about the map, so, you know, trying to navigate in a thick fog like this map is not helping at all. I mean, I can make markers. Like, the way people navigate in the game is that they get to know the landmarks of the game. You know, is there a mountain over there, or is the sea towards that direction? And then they also get to know the different deeds and villages of the place, and then compare to their map. So there are these community maps up on the web where you can see everyone's, like, towns and villages. So that helps. that. I'm pretty sure that's my neighbor's old place now. I should be bumping very soon into my own island. But yeah, imagine if you went out on a very long sailing trip and then you got lost right in the middle of the fog like this. One option could be that that is actually my place as well. I wonder if I should just head back to that. Oh, here we go. I think this is, yes, this is my island for sure. I can recognize this spot here. Phew! I thought I would get lost out into the middle of the sea. Home sweet home. I think for the remainder of the video, what I'll do is just heat up the old forge and do some improvement of those horseshoes and then put them on the vendor to sell. And I think that'll be enough. I mean, there's a whole bunch of other things I do throughout the day, of course. Check on my horses, breed some more horses, build stuff, water my plants, check on my crops and so forth, but it would take hours and hours. You can really, you know, lose, I mean, time just flies by in this game. So I think this was a nice little segment where you got a chance to see me fighting and exploring a little bit and visiting other people's deeds, and yeah. Let's just get this rowboat parked up first. There we go. Back at home, safe and sound. So I think what I'm gonna do is, it's looking a bit messy in here, so I'm just gonna take my wagon out of the way, or at least park it off into this corner. And let me just see if I have any tools that I need before I get started. Well, let's just get actually the forge heated up first. That's the first priority, so because that's going to take some while for those horseshoes to heat up. They need to be glowing hot before I can actually improve them. So let's just grab some wooden scraps here and make some kindling. And the scraps are a nice way to, because you get wooden scraps left over whenever you're building, when you're sawing some planks or chopping things. And I'm not sure about chopping, but at least when you're sawing planks you get tons of these wooden scraps. So nothing goes to waste in this game, because even this garbage which is left over, I can use these now to make some kindling, and can use them to also to burn into the forge to keep the forge going nice and hot. So let's just grab my tools. Oh yeah, that's what I was just going to check for my carving knife and other things. So I'm going to need my hammer, I'm going to need my carving knife, I'm going to need this. Okay. Inventory is full, so let's just put some of that stuff stuff into my backpack. There we go. File, steel and flint, carving knife. I think that's all I need. And use my carving knife to take some of that wood scrap and create a kindling. Okay, too little material. Let's just combine that. There we go. And then light up the forge. I really should make myself a nice little inventory, or like make a whole big pile of kindling, because each time I have to do this. And just about combining stuff, so it's quite handy that in the game you can combine items, so you don't have to do each of these separately. So you can either do it so that you double click the first item and then just shift select the whole batch and then combine. Another way, now that we have the crafting tool, is I could actually just drag this whole pile in here and use the combine button, and voila, I have one big pile of wooden scrap to burn in my forge. Now my forge will stay nice and hot for several hours due to that. Otherwise the fire would have gone out after a little while. So now when we look inside the forge, we can see that stuff is starting to heat up. You see this little yellow dot here. It says that right now it's hot, and we need to wait for it to go from the hot stage to the searing stage all the way up to glowing hot. And I also have some iron lump with which to also improve these if it needs that. And I'll also need some water, so I have some water in this barrel. Let me just push that barrel a little bit closer. And as you can see, I'm not like right selecting, and instead of like right selecting and choosing push, which would be a bit of a pain, I have made a macro. So you can make macros in this game, and I've made a macro for pushing, so I just press PPP and it will just push. There we go, that's good enough. So while those are heating up, let's have a look at some other things in the game. So for instance, if we have a look at what types of tools the game has, you'll see that there's a huge selection of tools. For instance, the pendulum. Well, you can take this thing out and you can go and check the land to see if there are sources of water underneath the ground, and that is what allows you to do things like making, because we were earlier drinking that water from the well. I mean, those wells, they don't just magically show up there. The person who has built that well has actually used one of these, and they've looked for sources of water that are bubbling underneath the ground. And then they've, once they've located an area like that, then they've started building the well right on top, and then the water will seep into the well automatically. And actually looking for those water sources is pretty cool. I also, on my island, I have a well, and I have a fountain that also has water sources in it. Let's see, is there anything else interesting to look at? Here's the new tool for making bridges. You need actually two people to do that. So one person holds the dioptra, or however you say it, and the second person holds this kind of range pole, and it's quite a fun process actually to make a bridge. Let's see how those horseshoes are coming along. Oh, okay, look, they're already glowing. So that was very fast. So now next what I'll do is I'll actually start improving these, and I'm just gonna rearrange them in the order of the item that is needed to improve them. And now, since we have our handy dandy pelt, I'll just activate that, and I'll just choose both of these and just start polishing them. And in the process, I managed to damage one of these a little bit, so I'm going to have to just fix that. And I can stack up actions. So while that's still polishing, I'm already stacking up a repair function there. And I managed to polish this one. So now you can see that it's changed the icon, and it's asking me to use some iron to improve that one. So we'll just use since we still have the mountain lion pelt activated, let's just polish this one up. Damaged it again, so let's just stack up polishing and repair actions one after the other. When you first start the game, you can stack up 3 actions, but as you gain more stats, oh, there we go, now it's succeeded. As you gain more stats, you will be able to stack up more and more times, like actions. So here you can see, for instance, in my case, action queue, I can now do 5. But once you get farther and farther and farther into the game, you can do more and more actions one after the other. So let's take these guys next. Oh, but I need to get myself, actually that water barrel, there's 2 ways you could use the water, but it's actually handier if I grab this small barrel over here and use that instead. And just rearrange those. And now I can double click the water since it's in my inventory. If I would have used the barrel over here, it would have been a bit more tedious process. But we're going to do it this way, and then again just select those and temper. We can see the quality and improving each time I succeeded. Let's just take that progress bar over here. Okay, that one I damaged. Okay, that one succeeded. Now, it would be really boring for you to watch me just improving these horseshoes all day long. So it's probably going to take me about an hour's worth of time to properly improve all of these up to, I'll probably improve them up to level 40 or something like that. So just for the sake of saving you from falling asleep, what I'm going to do now is just demonstrate how I would sell, for instance, this one horseshoe over here. And obviously if you were to sell horseshoes, I mean, a horse has 4 feet, right? So you would probably want to sell them in a like batches of 4. So let's just take, but I'm just gonna, just for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna show the process of selling stuff on your vendor. So it looks like the fog has, it's receding, and the sun is coming out and actually going down a bit. I think the time is, let's see what time it is actually. Time, so, oops, I forgot the slash. There we go. Yeah, so it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon right now. So the day is coming to an end. Yeah, and for the horseshoe, just as an example, let's set a price for it. So let's say, I have to investigate first, like what price people sell them for, but let's say 10 copper for this horseshoe. And now it has a price, and I can just open the vendor up and place this into her inventory, and she's accepted it, and I accept as well, and voila, now she has it up for sale. So we can see we have the keys. I have some ropes here in case somebody comes to buy some horses, but then they're like, oh damn, I forgot to take some ropes. And then you can see the horseshoe that I just put up there, and the price is like 10 copper. Yeah, so I think I'm going to wrap up this video now. It gave a nice little sample out of one of my gaming experiences here, and I hope it was entertaining and not too boring, and see you later.